The first college football video game in 11 years has dropped, and people all over are buzzing about Dynasty Mode. What team should you use for your dynasty? If you've been around my channel long enough, you know I like to pop out these lists for just about every new video game release. If you're new, I assure you, I am not copying anybody with this list. I do these for nearly every Madden, MLB The Show, 2K, and even some NHL games, and even a FIFA on this channel. So now it is time to do it once again for College Football 25. I have two top 10s coming in this video. One for Group of 5 rebuilds, which would be more traditional long rebuilds if that's what you're into, and one for the Power 4, which would be more rebuilds of bringing teams back to glory and rosters that aren't quite good in these Power 5 conferences. This list will have rebuilds of all kinds and levels, so listen up and let's get this thing started. We will begin with the Group of 5. Number 10 is Hawaii. Their big issue is the fact that their kicker and punter are both seniors, so there's necessary recruiting points going to the kicking game. The Rainbow Warriors were last ranked in 2010 with Bryant Moniz at the helm throwing to Greg Salas. That's a throwback. Shager to McBride could maybe get you there immediately before you need to find that next great quarterback wide receiver duo in Hawaii. But after that, quarterback could be significantly tougher, and the defense will lose 4 of its top 6 players. Defensive-minded players and gamers could make this a well-rounded program if you like to build some defense. Number 9 is UTEP. Living off of one great defensive end in Maurice Westmoreland, this team needs talent and quick. 3 of their top 4 players are seniors, and they also have one of the worst rosters in the game. What is worse is there's only 4 players with an ability on the entire team, and 3 of those players are seniors. It's a rough start, but it helps you to make a team your own through some powerful recruiting. They have some nice drippy uniforms, but UTEP hasn't been a ranked program since 2005, and it's time to change that. Number 8 is Army. Nothing says college football like the Army-Navy game, and you'll get to experience it every single season. Aside from that allure, their top returners after Season 1 will be center Brady Small and fullback Kane Udo. After Bryson Daly graduates, quarterback is going to be in dire straits, and their top 3 running backs are graduating, as well as their top 2 tight ends and their entire left side of the O-line. They'll have 0 right ends and basically no D-tackles either. There's a lot of roster turnover for a team that's already not great, and the playbook should be a fun one to run. Obviously, not a ton of great jersey options with Army, but what could be more fun than taking the occasionally ranked Army back to college football prominence for the first time since 1945. Nearly 80 years since they won a championship. Number 7 is JMU. Now, James Madison University has a decent year 1 start with a great running back and a good quarterback, but their top 4 players are all seniors. Dylan Morris will work for year number 1, but the quarterback pipeline is not good behind him. The 2 best running backs are seniors, including the best player on the team, Ayo Adenyi. 2 of the 3 top wide receivers and 2 of the 3 top tight ends are seniors, as well as 5 defensive starters and both their kicker and punter. Yeah, that's right, you gotta recruit the kicking game in this one too. Defense in general and offensive skill positions. That's a long laundry list for them to keep their streak of 2 straight ranked seasons coming into the FBS from the FCS alive. Number 6 is Bowling Green. This is technically not one of the worst teams in the MAC conference, but Connor Bazelak at quarterback keeps their overall up there, and he's done after year number 1. In fact, they'll have 1 quarterback on roster, which means it's recruiting time there. Running back Terrion Stort being a junior really helps, since quarterback and wide receiver are going to be in trouble after year number 1. Their best pass catching option beyond year 1 will be Harold Fannin Jr., who's a junior tight end with a ton of abilities. The defense needs a focus too, as 8 defensive starters and their CB2 and CB3 will all be graduating. Despite the fact that they look like the Browns, they actually have a decent history. They've won 9 conference titles, going 5-9 in bowl games, with their last win coming in 2014. They were last ranked in 2004 and actually finished ranked from 2002 through 2004, winning 2 straight bowl games. Can you get that Bowling Green back and make them a action team with national spotlight? Number 5 is Kennesaw State. Obviously one of the worst teams in the game at just a 73 overall. They don't have a single player at 80 overall or higher. What they do have is some nice young guys, with 3 of their top 6 players being sophomores or younger. What they don't have is any QB whatsoever. That is instantly where you're going to want to recruit. There's not a ton of players leaving, so you're able to replace those guys easily and improve the team, which it's going to greatly need. This will be Kennesaw State's first season at the FBS college football level, so I'm sure it will be a pretty popular rebuild, especially with the hot black uniforms that they have. Number 4 is ULM. They may only be a 71 overall, but their 4 best players are staying put, even if 2 of them are running backs. There are only 4 positions where their best player is a senior, so there won't be a ton of important turnover, creating an opportunity to build something special through some good recruiting. Besides, who doesn't want to use their general booty at quarterback? ULM also has a rough history. Since 1975, they have won more than 6 games just twice. They went 7-4 in 1980 as an independent, not invited to a bowl, and in 2012 they went 8-4 and went to the Independence Bowl, where they now hold a record for the largest margin of defeat in the Independence Bowl, losing by 31 to the Ohio Bobcats. Number 3 is Eastern Michigan. Now, EMU has 0 80-plus overall players, and they have 13 of their 14 best players graduating after year 1. They only have 4 players on the team with abilities, 2 of them are seniors, including their punter. The fun thing about them is that corner Daquan White is one of their best players at a 78 overall, and he's only a sophomore, so he is the building block. The allure to EMU comes from their nasty history. They have a 183, 366, and 7 record with a 2-6 bowl record. Both wins came against San Jose State. They have never been ranked by the AP poll, and it's not hard to see why. Gray field, green jerseys, what better atmosphere to try and build your program? Number 2, Jacksonville State. A lot of their top-end talent seems to be graduating very soon, with 8 of their top 10 players being seniors. However, there is fun here. Sophomore quarterback Zion Turner is fun to play with, even with no abilities. Sophomore running back Andrew Paul helps you almost forget that their wide receiver room isn't that good. Defense is the main issue, as only the corner group has any promise. Having played with them, their playbook is electric. They were 9-4 in their first FBS season. This is year number 2 for them in real life. Can you keep that going and take them to new heights? Number 1 is New Mexico. New Mexico has 3 players at 80 overall or better, and only one of them's a senior. The others are juniors. The Lobos have a super fun true freshman quarterback in Devin Dampier, who is fun to scramble with and throw on the run with, even though he doesn't have any abilities. In fact, the whole team has a total of 4 guys with abilities who are all juniors. Now that could make for a decent little nucleus for a year 2 run with those guys as seniors, Dampier as a sophomore, and whomever you can recruit to play on this team. It's also a team that has never been ranked by the AP poll and is 4-7-1 in their bowl history. That's a team that could use a coach to come in and give them a history that new kids signing to colleges will actually remember. With that, we'll move into our Power 4 rebuilds. Number 10, Illinois. 16 of the Illini's best 17 players are either juniors or seniors, and they are fairly mediocre all around. But they do get 2 years of Altmaier at quarterback, but I personally like Swanson more in game. Fegan is a nice start at running back, even though he's not really speedy. Defensively, the entire secondary should be back for another season to gel together. Illinois has a wild history too, with 15 conference championships, 2 national titles, even if their last one was in 1927, the year Lindbergh did his solo transatlantic flight, and an 8-12 bowl record, with their last bowl win being in 2011 against UCLA. Number 9 is BYU, and 8 of the Cougars' top 11 players are leaving. They're seniors, and you only get 1 year of Jerry Bohannon, who is already not the best Big 12 quarterback, before they have a bottom quarterback situation in the offensive Big 12. LJ Martin should be very nice at running back, but the line will need 3 new starters, and you'll need 4 new starters on defense. BYU has a great atmosphere and one of the great rivalry games with Utah yearly. They are also a very historic program. They are 6-16, 443 and 26 all time. That's a lot of games, with a 17-22 and 1 bowl record. Since 1974, they've only had 10 seasons without a bowl game, and they did win the 1984 national championship. Number 8 is Stanford. Stanford has the worst starting quarterback situation in the ACC. Sophomore wide receiver Elik Iomanor is a fantastic playmaker for at least a couple of seasons, but this team lacks excitement at quarterback or running back and will need a few O-line starters and 2 out of 3 new linebacker starters, as well as a new kicker in recruiting. Stanford went on a nice 2009 to 2018 run, going to 10 straight bowl games and winning 6 of them. However, they haven't had a bowl season since 2018. In fact, they haven't won more than 4 games since then. Can you bring the mascot legacy of the tree with no arms but with knees back to life and take Stanford to contention and their first chip since 1926, when the first SAT was given and they were coached by Pop Warner? Number 7 is Kansas. Their top 28 players are all either seniors or juniors, with 1 year of quarterback Jalen Daniels, running back Devin Neal, corners Kobe Bryant and Mello Dotson, free safety Marvin Grant, and wide receiver Lawrence Arnold, before this team gets to be a heck of a lot worse in season 2 and even worse beyond that. Despite their reputation as one of the worst Power 5 schools in recent memory, Kansas has a deep history. 8 times ranked, 5 conference titles, and a 7-7 bowl record, having won 4 of their last 5, including this past season. It's a fun team to try to make the playoff with in the first year as a preseason ranked school, but recruiting is a must if you're looking for a preseason ranked team that isn't OP but can help you learn the game. This is a starter rebuild for you. Number 6, Vanderbilt. Vandy is obviously always popular as the worst SEC team, and they do have the worst quarterback situation in the SEC, even if Nate Johnson seems like he could be really fun with 95 speed. With only 3 80-plus overall players in a conference that'll eat you alive, the Commodores will definitely have their work cut out for them. They have finished 3 seasons ranked ever and have a 4-4-1 bowl record, with the 2018 loss to Baylor in the Texas Bowl being their last appearance. Number 5 is Houston. Also not a great Big 12 roster, just like BYU. However, after Donovan Smith graduates after year 1, you still have Zion Chris. You will need to replace 9 starters, 10 if you count their vacant left outside linebacker position for some reason. Houston has won 11 conference titles and holds a 13-16-1 bowl record, but has really come on strong since 2005, with only 4 seasons since then without a bowl game. They have also finished ranked 2 seasons in the college football playoff era. Can you build upon what they have been building in prestige over time and get the recruits needed to control the Big 12 and get them an auto bid in the CFP? Number 5 is Mississippi State. Hail State, fail state, it doesn't matter. 6 of their top 8 players are graduating, and Blake Shapen is all you have to helm the team before their quarterback situation gets really ugly in the SEC. Even if I do like Chris Parson, their top 3 running backs are all seniors. I do like Seth Davis. Only 2 defensive starters will be gone, but they will lose their punter and 2 big-time offensive linemen. They've only won 1 conference title. They have finished ranked 4 times in the college football playoff era. RIP Mike Leach. Last season, they broke their streak of 13 straight bowl appearances, where they won 8 of their 15 bowl wins all time. Can you right the ship and get them back to competing not only in the SEC, but in for the CFP? Number 3 is Syracuse. Now, this is a fun team because You do get only one single year of Kyle McCord, the OSU quarterback transfer, but you do get 2 years of Arondé Gadsden II, son of former Miami Dolphins wide receiver and current tied for best tight end in the nation in this game. Life could get tougher offensively after that, even if running back LaQuint Allen is a good junior running back and Justice Ross Simmons is a solid junior wideout. Zeed Haynes seems to be a really fun freshman speedster. 4 defensive starters will need replacing. The Carrier Dome's just an amazing place for college football, especially with these new graphics. Syracuse has obviously had their great parts in college football history and have been ranked at season's end 15 times, even being number 1 for 7 weeks in their history. You know, Babbers has taken them to 3 bowl games, winning 1 and leading them to 1 ranking in the CFP era. But can you take the Orange to serious contention and maybe get them their first national title since 1959? If you're looking to learn the ins and outs of recruiting in the game, what better than to take a historic team with New York recruiting to the top before you go for a serious rebuild? Number 2, Northwestern. The worst quarterback situation in the Big Ten. 11 of their top 13 players are seniors. Get this, their top 3 wideouts and 6 of their 7 tight ends are seniors. Where are your pass catchers? All 3 left tackles, top 2 centers, top 2 right tackles are all leaving on the line. Top 3 left ends, top 4 D tackles on the D line, top 2 corners, and both their kicker and punter all need to be replaced. There also isn't a lot of fun players down the pipeline, as the Wildcats have finished a season ranked 13 times, but they're 7-10 in their bowl history, and that's with winning their last 5. Can you make the college football world take the Cats serious once again? Now it is time for number 1 in the Power 4, and call it a homer pick if you want, but it's Rutgers. Sophomore Johnny Shepard is far more fun to play with than the senior Minnesota transfer quarterback Kaliakmanis. Not to mention, Shepard has 3 abilities. Kyle Monongai is a fantastic running back starting point, especially with Jashawn Benjamin behind him. The wide receiver core is going to need a lot of work early, with 4 of their top 5 being seniors and not a lot of speed in general. They will also need new O-line starters at all 5 spots, an entirely new defensive line, 2 out of 3 new linebackers, and a new top 2 corners and safety duo. Rutgers has ended 3 seasons ranked in the top 25, with the most recent coming in 2006, which ended with a bowl win that ended up starting a run of 4 straight bowl wins. Despite Rutgers' poor reputation for winning history, they are the birthplace of college football, and in a recruiting hotbed in the New York, New Jersey metro area, with a 7-5 all-time bowl record. Can you make the Scarlet Knights compete in the Big Ten and become a champion for the first time since their shared title with Princeton in 1869, a time where women were finally given the right to vote? The Transcontinental Railroad was finished, Purdue University was founded, the world's first rodeo happened, and Heinz Ketchup Company was born. Call me a homer or whatever you want to, but Rutgers is an amazing team to rebuild. Who will you be running dynasties with on College Football 25? The game has already gotten massive support on Twitch and YouTube, and you'll see plenty of content around it here. So be sure to sub up if you're new and comment your thoughts on the game and the video down below. Peace out, people.